Alright, so taking a look today at the Parkside from Lidl's cordless grass and hedge trimmer. It's a 2-in-1. You've got a grass trimmer there at the back, and in the forefront you've got the hedge trimmer. I suspect the grass trimmer is a bit like if you want to get down on your hands and knees instead of using a strimmer to cut the edges, as you can see there. Of your grass. I don't know. I do know people that use orange handled scissors to cut the grass. I don't. I don't myself, but I do know people that do, unfortunately. And there you go. I suppose it's the same kind of thing. I suppose it wouldn't be bad if I come to use the strimmer and I find that I've got no fuel in the two-stroke mixing bottle to put in there, and it'd say I've only got to do a little bit. Then I can put a bit of nail down on a bit of card and for 2 seconds just use that, you know, in an emergency, I suppose. But I don't think it'd really be used, the grass one, for me, other than that, in emergencies like that. The hedge one is basically what I bought it for, because I've got a couple of hedges and another couple of hedges at the side of the house, and although I usually just use a pair of shears, that can take about an hour to 2 hours, possibly longer, and in the hot summer's day can get a bit of a pain. So anything that's going to take away that pain in the backside, you know, for the sake, I think this was $14.99, so I don't really need one of them great big massive ones, because they're only like it's only like a box hedge. It's not like a great big conifer hedge or the maze kind of things what you see, like topiary and all that kind of thing. But obviously, you know, it'll take the time away out of doing that. Anything that makes that easier. I think they were $14.99, so again, not too big a price point. The big long hedge trimmers, I think was was overkill for me, but I think I have seen them for about $19.99 at the cheapest. But of course they're corded. The cordless one's obviously a lot more. This is cordless. It's a smaller one, but you know, it's cordless. It won't be much hassle. Li-ion, the battery charging shouldn't take too long. I think, what's it say? The battery life is about 55 to 60 minutes, so it'll last about an hour. So as long as I'm quicker than the hour that I used to use to cut the bushes with shears, then it shouldn't be a problem anyway. So it's a 4-volt Li-ion battery at it says 2.0 amp hours on there, and it's the blade change is tool free click. It's, like I say, 2-in-1 there. What else have we got on here? We've got 120mm in length is the hedge trimmer. 80mm wide is the grass trimmer. It says it takes 3 to 5 hours to charge, and again lasts 55 to 60 minutes. The max thickness that you can cut of a twig, if you want to call it that, on a bush is 8mm in diameter, and again it says 4 volts at 2 amp hours or 2.0 amp hours. So you got 180 degree rotatable soft grip, so that will rotate. We'll take a look at that now. There's a little bit of charge in this unit, so you've got all your documentation, and it says Grizzly Tools on there, so obviously where it comes from, I think, I don't know, I would assume. So this is the European what is it, the EC emissions and all that, the declaration of conformity, or the translation of it. So there you go. It conforms to all the guidelines and one thing and another. Now this does have a 3-year warranty on the box for this. Another good thing, it charges via micro USB, just like your mobile phone and other devices, tablets, etc. And it takes a micro USB to USB cable that plugs into a wall plug. That's a bonus, because you can obviously just charge it straight off your computer if you've got that on. Interesting thing, we've got a safety pin on here. If that's not plugged into the 2 pins there at the back, then that will shut off. Just like so, and then it'll turn off. There's your micro USB charging port. You've got your handle here, which is rotatable. You pull that button back, you can rotate that around, or rather you can hold the handle still and rotate the head to wherever you want it. There's your charge indicator, and your quick release button to put your blades on. It does say 77 decibels on there. One of our blades. This is the grass cutting blade, and you have to insert your safety pin, and with this you do have to hold down the buttons, either side here, before you can press your trigger here for it to work. If you just press the trigger, it won't do it, so it's a safety thing. So you can either that one. Now I don't know if one, like a drill or a jigsaw or something, one button will make it go one way, and the other button will make it the motor rotate the other way. Whether that just reverses the polarity or not, I'm trying to look at the blade and get an indication. So I'll press the one way, so that's going that way. Press the one this way. Hold on. Right, so press it this way. Yeah, possibly is. So that's the grass trimmer. I can't tell, just that it has been oiled up all on there. And quick release, just press that button down and it just comes off. You've got some nice covers here for your blades, some nice plastic clips to cover the little clip in the corner of each, and that just holds it down nicely. This one's got a bit of a sheath on it, a bit of a rubber sheath, and once again click that. So hold the button in at the side, press the trigger, you can see your power indicator or charge indicator as well, I'm assuming. And now I'm going to go and give it a try on the bush in a minute, and we'll just quick to that. But what I just want to show you first is the safety. So we've got it going, and when that's removed, it shuts it down. Now So that's on there if you ever get into any trouble and it jams, the trigger jams, and it's still going off, and you need to shut it down. I don't know, you've cut your finger or something on there. You can just, or somebody else wants to come to your aid, you can tell them to pull the safety pin out. Other than that, you know, if you can take a quick look at the unit. Isn't really any more information on there that we need to know that hasn't been seen on the box or in the manual. So what I want to do now is go and give it a quick try on one of the bushes. Right, I'll be honest, it works, but it's not exactly mind blowing at the minute. It could do with a bit more of a charge in it. Not exactly mind blowing. It does the job. One thing I do wish it would do, I do wish it would lock the trigger, so you didn't have to keep holding it down every 5 minutes. That's my only concern with it, but yeah, it's not the absolute best, but it'll probably save me a bit of time on shears, I'm hoping. It fares a little bit better on these kind of regular hedges and bushes. The two safety switches are obviously from, depending on, well, if you're right-handed or left-handed, but if you come at it from one direction or then you come at something from another direction, you've got the button on either side, so you can come at it like that, or if you come at it like that. So it's a little bit better on these kind of regular hedges, bushes, but the shrubby one that I showed earlier, they're good enough down. It's good enough down the sides, but it's a little bit when it comes to doing the top. Look, it's okay on the top along here, but they sway a bit, so you kind of have to hold them, which is a little bit dangerous with your fingers on the blade. I would also say that you want to give it a bit WD-40 or oil on either side of the blade, give it a coat, keep that going. It does say 8mm diameter will stop. If you get it jammed in the TV, it will stop around 8mm diameter, but of course depends on how hard the actual twig or whatever you're cutting is. You know, if it might be a little bit smaller than 8mm in diameter, but it might be a bit harder, it might still stop it. That's just something to bear in mind. I mean, it is alright. I mean, it has saved time over shears. I mean, I've done pretty much my 3 bushes, including this one, and along this side, a conifery as well. It does cut through conifers as well, which is what a lot of people have, the big tall conifer bushes. So it's kind of okay. It's not as good as a great big one, but great big one would kind of be an overkill for me. I did see that the cordless one they had in there, that was a big full size one, was £99 compared to this, which was, well, £14.99. So it's a fair bit of price difference. If I'd have bought the big one, I'd probably been wasting a lot of money. So for me, it's ideal. I know this is probably the usual kind of bush most people will be cutting. If I take a step back, you can see it's kind of an okay job. Probably needs to leveling out, but it says it lasts an hour. It's still got the green light on there. It's still going after I've done the three bushes, which are about the same size as this one here. So compared with shears, you know, that's great for me. Anything that saves me time and hassle standing in the blistering heat as well in the summer. So that's the Parkside cordless hedge trimmer.